Henry versus Young Kiv, and this is in the MCS Ultimate Kickoff $150,000 elimination. This is a single elimination tournament, and this is the best that Henry has looked probably in over a year, and he's going to be taking on Young Kiv. Now, Young Kiv, obviously, just one of the best Madden players of all time, right? He has just been good for so long. And this, in my opinion, was the best game of the day for Henry in his elims in terms of just like the matchup. Wanted to break down one of the games from his run. I felt like this was honestly the only game that it realistically made a whole lot of sense to break down. So I am going to be breaking down this game. Now, Henry, shout out to Henry, man. He's streaming everything. Love to see that. And just a lot to learn from him. He is literally the best Madden player of all time. And he's streaming all of his tournament games. If you guys want to sign up to check out his tournament or check out his website, as you see at the top there, he has a website code. I'll put links to both of those in the description if you want to check out his stuff. And I also put links to Kiv's stuff as well. Kiv over at 818, like I said, just one of the best Madden players of all time. I don't know exactly where you would rank Kiv. I think top 5 is probably somewhere in there. I think you can find somewhere in there in your top 5. I think he's got the most MCS live events made in history. And so in the history of the MCS. So just a lot to learn from both of these guys, and really, really excited to dive into this game. You guys have been loving the film rooms. Again, links to all of these guys' stuff will be in the description if you guys want to check out more of what they're doing. Now, first and foremost, I believe that Henry, for the most part, has kind of set the meta this year in terms of especially offensively, and I mean, I guess defensively as well. Like, he's kind of set the meta this year, at least from what I've seen. I don't know, maybe he got it from somebody else, but Henry, people are running what Henry's running, right? Which is honestly a lot different than last year. Last year was a weird year for Henry, to be honest. By his standard, only made one live event, got first rounded in that live event. Was just a down year for him, right? Made it all the way to the final 4 of LCQ, and I think he lost to Drini in that one. Almost made bowl, was right there, but just, again, Henry has a different standard. Henry should be winning multiple live events every single year by his standard and the standard that he has set. And so it was honestly one of his worst years. That being said, it was still a really good year by anyone else's standards, but by his standard, it wasn't. Now, I did want to get into kind of what we're going to see, because again, I think that Henry pretty much set the meta this year from what I could see as far as offensive meta, defensive meta, a lot of things that you're seeing. You know, Henry's really the one doing them. And one of the first things here is this defense. As you see, this spread linebacker double mug look that Kiv is going to be running. Henry has kind of done that. The other thing is that Henry is going to come out in this bunch X nasty, and he is going to audible over here to this Y off trio close. Now, Henry runs the Jaguars offensive playbook, and if you look closely behind his face cam, you'll see this R1. It tells you this is a play he's going to. It's the MTN, so motion PA cross switch, and watch what happens. You'll see this audible. This is the play that he's going to base everything out of, and you're going to see here that it gives him play action blocking, which he resets to base protection, and then he essentially freestyles out of this. This is really good for blocking the Texas 4-man stunt blitz that, you know, Young Kiv is going to be running. Now, from this defense right here, Young Kiv is going to have the threat of really 3-ish ways to get pressure. The first way that he is going to have the ability to get pressure is by running a send, basically a send 4/send 5, where he's going to blitz this guy here, and then he's going to engage with the center and then pull his user out of it and be able to kind of essentially create good pressure against 5 out. The other way that he's going to be able to get pressure is this Texas 4-man, right? Very good. And then the third way is just a basic send 4 rush, because of all of the pass protection that Henry is going to do to have to try to block this blitz. It's going to open up other ways for him to get pressure. So that is kind of what you're seeing. And first route combo for Henry is going to basically be a dagger. He's going to have a post. He's going to have a streak. He's going to have a clear out streak from the slot, a drag, and then a backside running back streak. Now, what I think is really important to just mention about how these guys are going to design route combos and how they're going to build their offense is they're first and foremost going to start with pass protection. They have to be able to block the main blitzes. That's why Henry, I believe, is running Wild Trio to begin with, because it has a play action play. It also has an auto motion, and it's in the Jags playbook. and Jags just has a ton of really good formations. But the other thing from a route combo perspective is you're seeing, and Henry has really figured out, I think, how to pass against switch stick at a pretty high level. He's got one streak, he's got two streaks, and then he has a high read, which is his post. He has a low read here, which is his drag, and then he has an alternate receiver. So the streaks, there are reads, but their primary purpose is to make it so that Kiv can't switch onto the safeties and to open the throwing lane. So just kind of watch how this plays out. You see Kiv sends 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of 5. He actually runs a man coverage, but as you see here, he gets over aggressive and flats this guy. This is why Henry runs these two streaks, because when you start getting over aggressive to stop the basic stuff, it leaves these streaks wide open. And literally on his first play, he's able to get a free touchdown because Kiv over adjusted. At least that's how it appears. Kiv might have just got a random bump. Maybe the man coverage didn't man cover. It's also one of the reasons why I find it really interesting that so many of the top players in this game are kind of basing out of a, for lack of a better word, like just a mid blitz, because again, cover zero, just conceptually against some of the best players in the world, you're kind of asking for the one play touchdown. Just my 2 cents. It's why last year you saw kind of an interesting defensive meta emerge where it was primarily cover four, switch stick, zone based. What it really accomplished was it wasn't necessarily like an amazing way to play defense, but it kept the lid on. We're going back into a cover zero here where, it's harder to do that. So anyways, now we get into Kiv. So Kiv on offense, he is just going to come out in that wild trail close. And again, as I said, Henry pretty much set the meta. You see here, those are some of his coach adjustments, but take a look at what he's going to be doing. He's got really a couple of plays out of this double mug. He's got this nickel dog Meg, which is actually a match coverage that you can kind of customize and create. He's got this nickel dog 3 buds, which is kind of his base zone. He's got the Tampa 2, he's got the Buck zone blitz, and he's got mid blitz. So a lot of different ways to play. You see here that because this is a quarter flat, you can't hot route this quarter flat. And so he is actually going to be in a match coverage to start. Now, again, what is Henry going to do? He's going to come out in double mug, and he's going to spread his line and spread his linebackers. Just like Kiv, he is going to have the threat of the Texas 4-man blitz right there. He's going to have the threat of sending 5 or 4 off of, like he could zone this guy or he could sending 5 or 4 with engaging his user into the offensive line and then bailing out. The other thing that he does, and this is something consistent with Henry, he's normally going to blitz off the running back side. He's not going to really blitz over here. So he's normally going to blitz off the running back side. The other thing is, then you just have your basic send forward, try to keep him in the pocket, so on and so forth. From a coverage perspective, primarily, he's got his match coverage. He's got his Tampa 2 zone that he can adjust out of, and he has his cover zero. So take a look here. As you see, he's manning up his user to the running back. Kiv going to be a little bit more audible around. He's going to audible into Bunch X Nasty, and I believe Kiv is probably in Jags. And first play, you're going to see the Texas 4-man and Henry. I don't know what just happened there. Let's see what Kiv actually ends up running from a route combo perspective. So right here, Kiv goes, I don't even know what is happening on the left. Just curious. You'll see here on the left side, as you see kind of playing that, he's playing a really hybrid coverage here. He's got the flat wide. So this is actually a really cool adjustment from Henry. I did want to break this down. And again, hopefully you're strapped in because there is so much to learn in these games because these are the highest stake games. And that means they're going to be not only trying their hardest, but they're not going to be holding anything back. So one of the things that you learn here is watch this adjustment that he makes. Look right here. He's got a match concept to the left. We're going to pop this. If you didn't know, in match coverage, especially quarters, all you need to trigger match is a quarter flat. So as you see here, he has the quarter flat. That's why he likes nickel dog Meg. And then he's able here to have a quarter and a quarter. So he's matching the left side. And then essentially he's what I call Meg or man locking the backside with a specific zone that he's using. So why does he use this hard flat? One of the best routes in the game is this short corner here, super hard to guard. But then also, if you look at, he's got the running back manned up with his user. And so because he has the running back manned up with his user here, he's going to basically be able to man this safety up here. This hard flat will play the corner. Or let's say the running back runs like a table route, then Henry doesn't have to get off of his user. However, let's say you get a route combination, which I don't think you would get, but let's just say like you get like a slot fade or wheel, and then you get a running back seam. Then what Henry's going to do is he's going to switch off of his user to one of these defenders over here. So he's basically, as far as like, how he's playing defense, he's matching the left side, he's man locking the backside, and then he has this hard flat here, because against this look, you'll also get a lot of block running back, and he's able to steal an additional player in coverage if he does get that. So a lot of things in terms of adjustments, but normally on the first drive, this is why I kind of go a little heavier on the first drive, you kind of see their basic framework for how they're going to play the game. And then after the first drive, maybe the second drive, then you start to see some of the adjustments or the lack of or kind of consistency of execution. So anyways, back to the play. As you see, Kiv is also running his bunch to the short side. Kind of an interesting little thing here. But take a look. You see how he's user in the running back, but he notices the running back goes to the flat. Then he's able to, now if you look, he's got this manned up. Henry is literally reading what he needs to guard. So he reads, okay, this guy's manned up. I don't need to guard that. This guy goes to the flat. I don't need to guard that because I got a flat defender. So now Henry's eyes are backside here looking at what's happening over here. And over here, it looks like we basically have like a smash return setup, but the tight end runs his route really bad and they get delayed and bumped. So Henry knows, right, what route is he going to need to guard. He's going to need to jump onto that one potentially. So you see here, see how he switch sticks? See that switch stick right there and just kind of snaps on that route. It's actually a really good switch stick, and he almost picks it off. I don't know what happened. I don't know from an animation perspective. It appears like he swatted the ball, but who knows? Maybe he tried to catch it and it just didn't catch. I don't know. Here you're going to see he's going to go to a right side Texas 4-man. Now, this is really important. So why is he doing that? He's only going to send the Texas 4-man on one side because Michael Vick is a mobile quarterback. And so by having this, what he can do, and this is, again, he might not actually have that adjustment on this, but he called it, so I wanted to cover it. The right Texas 4-man will send the Texas 4-man only off the right side. So he would go Texas 4-man right here, or right Texas 2-man is what it's called. Then on this side, he would be able to keep his contain over here. Why? Because when you drop back with Vic, more than likely, you're going to want to roll this way. So let me stunt on the side you're less likely to roll out. Now you'll see Henry going to go to more of a different coverage completely. Now he's not going to match. He's going to throw a cover 3 cloud at you. And so what you'll see here is why the hard flats? Primary reason for the hard flats is to stop these short corners on both sides. They're super helpful for defending that. So you see here, he just sends a base rush, as you see. And then again, Kiv is threatening to roll this way with Vic, more than likely. And you see there's the hard flat. You see the combo here. You get basically another variation of smash return, except now we have a running back table. Henry is pretty good here. This route is about to come open right here. And you see Henry switch it, but it's going to leave this return route wide open. Kiv wisely takes the check down, and he's able to get about 15 yards. The return routes, and again, by the way, I just want to cover this real quick because I think this is super important and relevant. Watch what Kiv does. He flips into wide side bunch or wide side trio, whatever. Either way, he's got a slot fade. This has been a route combo for years. A slot fade, a drag. He's going to use a table route, a return, and a crosser. Now, if we really break this down, this right here is a clear out. This is a high read. This is a low read. And this is a return route. This is what you could consider a return route, an outlet or alternate receiver. So you go high, low, backside check down. This running back route is really more of just a pull route. You're probably not going to really ever throw it. And it's kind of more of what we consider like maybe a hot read or outlet receiver or something like that. Anyway, the point being, Kiv goes high read, low read, backside check down. He's able to process that information extremely fast. And a lot of this game, especially in the switch stick era, It definitely comes down to more of like a processing speed. How fast can you read the defense and make the right decision? How fast can the defense read the routes you're running and make the right decision with their switch to? That's a lot of what you're seeing. Here we get an audible here to trips or trio, and just takes a simple check down to the running back. And that audible, they've done a lot of reasons. When you audible around, it gives the defense a lot of different things to have to worry about, especially in a nickel formation, as you see there. Henry has to flip to the wide side of the trips. He has to reset up his whole defense. And then Kiv might be able to pop a bubble screen, maybe hand it off, hit a quick flat route. That audible is really designed, I call it a constraint play. It's just designed to kind of give your defense problems, but Henry, does a good job adjusting to it, flipping with it, and whatnot. Here we go again. Another smash return setup, right? Why is this so good? This is so good because you're stretching the defense and you're making it hard for them to use her. Watch what watch what Kiv does here. So you see he's got that kind of stem down corner. He's got that running back streak. He's got the drag. He's got an in, and he's got a return route right there. So he's really attacking horizontally. As you see Henry, see how this user kind of stays right in the middle of the field? It's because he will switch off, and then this user will stay kind of in this little box. So he's able to cover, a decent amount of field without even having to move, but he's looking at the route on the field. He probably is going to switch to here or maybe switch to here and try to get on that. See what he does. He ends up just using it himself, runs over to the return route, and he's right there, but Kiv throws it right on time, gets 2 yards. It's really a good play by both. Kiv probably should have thrown the in route, but whatever. Anyway, so you're going to see here another flip. This time he's just going to flip the trio. Kiv is basing out of trio, whereas Henry is going to pretty much audible to trio every time. Now check this out that Henry does. You're going to see right here. So you see how he, this is actually really, really important. So Kiv comes out in trio to the short side. This is why flipping is so good. He comes out here. So Henry sets up his defense like this, but he's anticipating this little flip. So what you see here is he's going to flip his defense. Now watch. Henry has to bring this user down because when you blitz like a bunch stronger trio, you want to blitz the side opposite of the tight end. Pretty much generally almost any formation in this game, you want to blitz the opposite side of the tight end because the tight end can block and go on routes. But anyway, what you're going to see is right here. He brings up his substitution menu. What he's able to do with that is he's actually pre-holding his joystick straight down so that as soon as the ball is snapped, right there, as you see, he's going to engage with the center and he's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the user is the 6th person. What this does is he's noticed that Kiv has not blocked his running back yet. He waits to a key down like a 3rd and 8. He's going to send this and he's going to blitz very, very fast pressure, as you see. Now, the other thing that he's doing, which is really good, is when he engages with the center, I believe that he's hitting the X button on PlayStation or the A button on Xbox, and then basically kind of trying to like pull his user out so that he's able to actually get into coverage and switch stick. So you see pressure actually got picked up, which is kind of surprising. And again, that sometimes happens when you pull off with your user. But you see here, he goes to essentially a man-to-man blitz as kind of a change-up defense. And it does a really good job. Look at Henry out here. Greatest Madden player of all time. And watch what happens to his user. I take so much like value in this. Watch this. He's usering in a look at his user. Look at his user just fall down. And I don't know why. He might have been trying to switch stick. He accidentally hit it. I don't know why that happened. I just know I'm not the only one that sometimes struggles to use her perfectly. And it still works out for him. He gets him to a 4th down. I'll tell you what Henry does such a good job of when I watch him play is he's not even the best. He's not like the best user. He's not the best. Like he doesn't even always like, he doesn't even like process, I think, the best like in the moment. But from a like pre-snap perspective, the strategy before the ball snaps, putting himself in a good position to maximize what he's able to do, I feel like he is so good at that. And he actually is one of the few people that still does, to a degree, make decent, like he actually adjusts. You saw like you've seen zone, you've seen man, you've seen match, you've seen Just different things, right? Now, why right here? This is super important. Why does he go to cover two here? And he goes to cover two with just a basic four-man rush. Why not send the Texas four-man? The reason he's actually only going to send three here. Why run this defense? Because this is going to keep Vic, for the most part, in the pocket. He's still bluffing his pressure, but also one of the most popular routes in this game is like a 15 to 20 yards curl. And if these hooks are on 5, he's not going to be able to guard it. So he puts his hooks back to default. And you'll see his hook. Watch this hook right here. This is why you want to do it out of Tampa 2, because a vert hook will do all kinds of weird stuff. But the hook zone curl, if you watch, it's the best yellow zone in the game for defending these curls. As you see, he does a good job of sitting there. Now, honestly, really, the throw should probably go here, and you should try to like break that tackle, but not gonna happen. And got that post late, but he kind of not gonna throw it. And there, Henry does a great job. He gets agged. It's actually crazy that happened. So here, Henry does a good job of kind of seeing that wheel. He gets over there and runs that off. I don't even know that he necessarily needed to do that, but because he only sent 3, he's not going to get great sheds. He will sometimes, but it's inconsistent. So he like right there, he inconsistently gets a bad shed timer. And so now he's over here usering, and he sees this opening here. Now, what he probably should have done is just usered it with his user because he's on a safety. But he switches to a defensive end, and this defensive end, as you see here, he's just trying to swat the ball. But just trying to swat the ball. He's not able to. I don't know if it's because, I would assume it's because he's defensive end. He doesn't animate proper. I don't know. But he even gets him up in the air and catch, tackle, ag. Great defense, and honestly spoiled by the aggressive catch there. All right, let's take a look here. So again, as you see, gonna blitz off the none, tight inside. Good pressure. Got just enough pressure, honestly. He cannot get that thing to come in super clean. And I think it's because he's trying to peel off with his user a little too much. All right, gonna bring him a 2nd and 10. And really even just the threat of this 5-man makes Kiv have to think. Now, Kiv is still not blocking. And so Henry's also not just spamming the 5-man. I probably would, to be honest, because he's not blocking. But Henry's using that 5-man in key situations. Like you see here, 3rd and 6 is the key down. He's trying to get him to a 4th down. So he goes to that cover 0. This time he sends 2. And Kiv's just going to throw a touchdown. Now, let's see what happened with the main coverage. Main coverage, not main cover. So as you see here, the safety's man up to him. The safety, he switches to the safety. Honestly, that's just a bad switch tick. Because he should have there was just no reason to do that. I think he just unnecessarily tries to lurk this end route, and he didn't need to. As you see, maybe he's trying to guard the curl. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Did you see from Kiv here? You get a return. I love this play. I don't know how I feel about this in route. I see this as a new concept. Got the curl. Yeah, I mean, I could only think maybe he's trying to lurk this curl. But I feel like he could have just stayed on his user and done that, and he ends up taking himself out of position completely. And Kiv is able to take 7. So, on a drive, really, that Henry should have got a stop, Kiv is able to get 7. And now, we've got Henry going on to his second drive. Another thing that you're looking for, too, like especially early on in the game, is like in these tournaments, do they know something I don't know, right? Do they have like a strategic advantage? Those are some of the things. Are they running, kind of the meta, or are they not, right? And for the most part, this is pretty much meta versus meta. Now, Kiv going to jump in 140. And this right here is the motion cross post. Take a look at the combo. You have this like cross field running back route that's really, really good. And then you can kind of build around it. You could do like seam streak, corner, post, drag. You could do what Henry does here, which is post, streak, tight end corner. Maybe a little bit. This is more of a man beating play, the way he has it set up. But what you see is this is just a painful route to defend this year. It's just a tough route to defend. It gets into a really nice area of the field. It's able to attack a variety of coverages. Really, the best way to defend it is a hard flat on that side, but then that obviously leaves the whole sideline open and gives a lot of room for the corner route. So it's just a hard route to consistently defend. Right here, check this route out that he's going to throw. This is spacing switch. If you look, see if I can actually show you the play art. Yep. So if you look at this play, so the only reason he's calling spacing switch is for this route right here to Barkley. This route is not a hot routed running back flat. It is like a speed flat route. So what this does is it basically just makes you have to defend him. So like you see here, he basically just throws this initially. Once he sees that this guy is not in a hard flat, he just throws this. And watch the animation he's going to get. And he breaks that tackle or gets off that tackle, breaks another tackle. And off of just a basic flat route, he just gained about 20 yards, really just because it's a quote-unquote good flat route. I mean, he's thrown 2 flat routes, and he's gotten all the way down the field. You know, again, it's those quick underneath, man, especially at the highest level. It's the quick stuff. Didn't love this play, and this was close to being picked. Goes back to motion cross post, and he runs. A lot of people are liking this. It's like a drag and then a return route. I think it's disgusting. I do not like this play. But it is, I mean, it's open because you see it's like see how the drag will like clear out. Like let's say this guy was in a hard flat, this drag would clear this out, and then the return route will be open. Like I can see why, but my goodness. And look at Kiv's user. He's right there. I think he just messes up. Now, to be fair, he switches from this guy to try to lurk the post, and it messes the defender up, and Henry's able to complete it. He's actually able to score, or at least get into a scoring position because of really just like a half second late timing. Now, what Henry likes to do down here, and again, this is I think one of the main reasons he's in Jags, is for the quarterback run, the quarterback power, quarterback zone. Kiv did a really good job of defending it there. But the combination of quarterback power, quarterback zone, RPO alert bubble, those are the real main plays. Here he's going to go to spacing switch, kind of try to quick hike him. And he actually throws kind of a beam, but he doesn't get his feet in bounds. And unfortunately, he's not able to complete it. Take a look here, 3rd and goal from the 6. And he is going to be running that quarterback strong power, or at least coming out in that play. This is from trips. He also has passing, this China post. Now, why this China post play? This play is popular. Again, why? Because you have that running back cross flat route that is very, very good in this game. So let's take a look. See, he is probably going to pass this. And you're going to see a really interesting combo. You have this flat that's going to pull out the flats, the running back route, which is almost going to be thrown like a drag. Then you have this like kind of backside deep in route that he's going to be looking to hit there. And then let's see what else we have cooking here. We have a return route and a slant, kind of that same idea. And so basically, you watch how this runs, and you see here, pulls this guy out. Now, the user has to take this running back route because Kiv doesn't have the running back manned up. The user has to take it. So the user's here, and he's trying to midpoint this running back because he doesn't have a zone over here. So what that does is now there's no user backside to defend like a slant breaking open against man. Here, Henry's going to show good patience. You see the zones bite down to the return route. It should leave this open back corner for a touchdown. He's not going to throw it. Instead, he's just going to be a little bit more patient to me and take his running or his tight end route, which again, watch just the power of this cross route. Kiv has to come over here with his user. Kiv sends the spy, and Henry, this guy ends up blitzing too. And this just ends up being like good poise in the pocket, able to throw wide open for a touchdown. Good patience from Henry. And that's going to be 14-7 now with Henry on top. Now we are getting a little bit more into like the, end of half scenarios. We're not all the way there yet. Kiv is probably going to be playing just like basic offense here. And really this is kind of shaping up for Henry to more than likely have the last drive of the half, depending on how Kiv, does with this one. It's very unlikely that Kiv's going to be able to clock this all the way out just because of the time. He is going to start off with a run and just to get the clock moving, kind of get make sure, kind of get his bearings a little bit. And now we'll see what he's going to go to here. Again, there's a flip in that Y off trio close. Henry going to more of a zone look. Here's some crossmans of the tight end. This is one of his favorite defenses. Another thing that I've noticed with Henry is he's going to kind of do like his core set of adjustments. So he's going to have like, I've got 5 coverages that I like against trio, and I'm going to, hit you with those 5 coverages. I feel like that's kind of what you see, because you constantly see this one. You constantly see like the cover 0 one, the match one, right? Those are kind of the main ones. And then the, I don't remember what the other one was, but anyways, so you see here, kind of just a basic coverage, but that tight end zig, one of the most underrated routes in Madden 26. I don't know why more people are not throwing tight end zigs, because they are really hard to guard in this game. You see here, get on that cover 3 cloud coverage, and he ends up screaming at him and getting him sacked. Now, I want you to notice how many yards of a sack this is. This is why taking a sack is so detrimental to drives in this game. As you see, there's just a basic Texas 4-man rush. Kiv backpedals, and now 1st and 10 from the 40 just turned into 2nd and 22 from the 28. Ends up losing 12 yards on that sack. And this is why, like, when you get sacks, now Henry's like, okay, now I can play a specific type of defense here, where he's really trying to get him on a 3rd and long, 4th and long situation. But he's going for, this is going to be his stop. At least this is probably what he's thinking, is like, now I'm going to have a chance for my stop. Because you see, he completed a basic pass there, but now he's on 3rd and 16. And if Henry can play good defense here, he could get him to like a 4th and 6, 4th and 8, even if Kiv makes the right read on the play. Taking the negative plays are such a big deal, especially in the switch stick era. So you're going to see right here that he is going to send that 5-man blitz. It looks like he's positioned himself here. He is going to send the 5. I love him sending 5 here, because if he can get a sack, it's 4th and 22. So he sends this pressure. You see there, the pressure kind of forces a little bit of movement in the pocket, but honestly, Kiv picks it up. He's going to throw, there's that curl again, wheel, fade, and then he's got this post, return. He throws that. Honestly, here, Henry needs to switch here, but I think he's just a little late, and Kiv's going to be able to complete it in a tight window. That is a very tight window, and if Henry switches that, right, that very easily could have been an interception or a knockout, and you're looking at 4th and 22 or 4th and 16. So kind of a big play right there. Here, Henry's going to send 4 off that cover 0 man. And this is another thing that's good about this blitz. Even though Henry's not going to get home here at all, like just like this right here. Like if you're a quarterback, you see this right here. All right, so as you can see there, just a simple throwaway from Kiv, and going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Now we are 4:41, as I said. It's very unlikely that he can clock this out. Like Henry's going to be given a 2-minute drive. A little bit of a question as to whether or not you could potentially take his timeouts, but more than likely, very unlikely. So again, there's that audible to trio. There's that bubble. He's getting a great block there on that bubble screen. Why call that on 2nd and 9? Why call a bubble screen like that? Honestly, that worked out perfectly for Kiv. Puts him in a 3rd and manageable position, and was kind of like, didn't really need to super think in terms of how he was playing that. Now here, Henry is on a 3rd and 1. He's going to go to a completely different look. He's going to bluff this send 6. So he's Texas 4-manning, right? He's playing man, and he's got 2 hard flats. Why the hard flats? The primary purpose for the hard flats are stopping those underneath, like drag routes, zig routes, things like that, that can hit. And then really he's going to rely on his user to take away like posts and things of that nature over the middle. So again, just showing this in 6. Now here, this is a really important thing. So he moves his user over, he mans his user up, and then he gets on this other guy. Why? Because again, we're giving the illusion of the Sun 6. The other thing is the running back is not manned up. So what the purpose of the hard flat is, like, let's say the running back goes to a flat, that hard flat will hopefully play that. This also caught crossover like that. As you see, Kiv sends the running back out on this cross route, but Henry's got those flats underneath to be able to play that pretty well. And, pretty much everything is covered. And Kiv going to throw that, honestly, like super tight window there. Almost could have been a touchdown, and honestly almost could have been a pick. As you see, I mean, right there, just super tight throw, super tight play. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 1. So Henry gets him on another 4th down. Kiv is in scoring range. And Henry is probably going to actually send 6 here, I would think. Nope, he's going to go with that send 4. But this time, he's no Texas foreman. He's going to keep him in the pocket. There's the hard flat and the hard flat, hard flats. That's exactly what I was talking about. So you see here, he's bluffing this send 6. And Kiv goes to that spacing switch type of deal, but this is not I don't think that's the speed flat. Anyway, bottom line is Henry sees that, he switches to the flat, and he runs out himself and takes this away. And he's able to get a massive stop. Now, really important how Henry handles this situation. This will impact this game. Does he clock this out? Because this can be 100% a 4-minute offense clocking situation where you run the ball, you take your time. Kiv is going to get ball back at halftime. So this is kind of a critical, like Henry is in a really good spot, especially if he goes down and he's able to take the timeouts. So this is really important for Kiv. It's a really important possession for Kiv defensively. If you're Kiv, you ideally want to just hold him to 3. More than likely, Henry is not going to give Kiv this ball back, I would think. That's why one of the reasons for the first down run. Unless Kiv gives him a touchdown. Henry, this is going to be a methodical clock is what I would think here. Now, here he's going to actually, I guess Kiv's going to give him a touchdown. So Henry I think he's playing on small. He's playing on placement actually, but I think he's playing on small. And what you get on that is he's cover 0. He's free-forming this streak, and he'll free-form it like over here, basically. And you get such a bend on this ball that it just pops cover 0. And that player just can't guard it. It's a really good feature of small. And it basically just really pops cover 0, puts cover 0 in a bad spot. And so there, Henry able to basically just get a free touchdown. Now, Kiv comes back, and if you're Kiv, what I would think you would want to do here is clock this out, get 7, get the ball at half, get 7, tie ball game. You could realistically see it that way, which even though Henry has a 2-possession lead, the next time Henry touches the ball, the game could realistically be tied if Kiv handles this end of half scenario properly. That being said, it's also really hard to score a touchdown, like to guarantee yourself a touchdown. So there's another little aspect of that as well. Now, Henry knows this, so Henry's going to play defense in a way that is designed to counter what Kiv is going to try to do. So that's kind of the back and forth, right? Henry knows that Kiv is going to be trying to clock, so Henry's going to play defense in a specific way that's going to hopefully prevent that. So there you see, there's a check down. It goes back to that smash return setup, yard gainer. Henry gets a hit stick in the middle of the field, does not get a fumble, but in general, right, you're just kind of seeing how he's playing defense. I think what we've really realistically seen from Henry is you're going to get some of these crossmans. He's going to switch. It's a good switch on that. And that's going to be another throwaway from Kiv. Kiv pretty much is either in this wild trio, maybe a little bit of bunch nasty, and then the trips. The trips is another one that he really likes. And here, you're just going to go back to that like high-low read. Get in the middle of the field. Why does Kiv go down there? I believe Kiv goes down there again because it's the clocking scenario. He's trying to basically take the clock of the second half, which is super, super important. Hands the ball off to Saquon here. Kiv wants to get to the 2-minute warning as quickly as possible. So you'll see here, it's going to go to a second down pass. Not able to get there, has to throw it away. Now he's in a 3rd down situation. Kind of needs to convert this. This is it's really important that Kiv gets 7 on this drive. If he settles for 3, that is not good. And there's the 5-man pressure, and finally it gets home perfectly. Watch, here's the audible over, and then you're gonna see the engage with the center right there, the pressure and the 5 out. This is what this does, is against 5 out. And Henry seems to pretty much do this a lot out of cover 0. When he sends it, he's going to play cover 0, lurk the middle, and he's able to get the pressure. He's able to get the throwaway. He's wanting, he's begging, he's asking, he's pleading, he's demanding for the intentional grounding call to be made there. It's not made. Now he's in a 4th down and 4 situation. If Henry gets a stop here, it's going to be really hard for Kiv to come back. This is the biggest down in the game. And guess what? This is why, again, having the ability to blitz and then having the ability to make the blitz look the same, but then play coverage is so important. You're going to see right here, he is now going to play a cover 2, that coverage variation. So you see he's showing cover. He's showing that. He's got his hook curls. This is just basically going to be stop cover 2, it looks like. A little bit of an adjust here on this left side. Now he is going to adjust hard flat. And then we've got man up everywhere with the cloud deep half. I don't love what we're doing on the right side. I almost want to scissor in this situation. But what he's anticipating, what Henry's anticipating, is this running back's going to block because he just blitzed him, right? So he's showing the same pressure. Now, if you block the running back, it changes what you can do route combo wise. So you see Kiv, he runs that running back cross flat, but he does send him into the pattern. And you're going to get corner route, streak. There's that return and probably the post right there. And the streak ends up being a 20-yard stem curl. But remember, we got those hook curls on the field, but Henry gets outflanked here, and he's just not able to defend all of that grass. Good route combo from Kiv, hard user for Henry, and it ends up being a key 1st down position. Looking back right there, I probably would want to see Henry blitz, and he might blitz right here. He is going to blitz right here. Another thing is right there, it was like probably 99% chance that was going to be a run just because of the clocking scenario, just because of the situation. Kiv is going to run the ball there so that he can get that clock moving because he just hit the 2-minute warning. And it's in Kiv's best interest that Henry doesn't get the ball back with the ability to go score. You definitely don't want Henry to have all his timeouts. You've got to take his timeouts in some way, shape, or form. So you'll probably see another run call here, I would think, or a very underneath passing. Because the thing is, let's say like he runs like a corner route. Because of where he's at on the field, if he gets, let's say he gets like a 1st down right here, now he can't clock. So if you're Henry, the other thing that you want to do is you actually want to play defense in a way that is designed to give that up. So there's that run call that I was saying. Now you're to a 3rd and 3. And what you should see Henry do is play really aggressive, because what you want to do here is you want to either give up a touchdown or you want to get a stop. Like, you don't really want to give up, you're trying to, again, always defensively, you're trying to decipher and trying to code, like, what am I trying to take away? So he puts his hooks on 5 so that he can play those underneath routes. He's got his run defense pretty much ready to go here. Hard flats are everywhere. He's going to force you to throw over the top. So as you see, all this underneath stuff is covered. Where does the throw have to go? It has to go here or here. So Kiv is going to throw right there. And that's ridiculous that he doesn't actually get the pick. It's actually really good strategic defense from Henry. If you really look at what he's doing here, he's only leaving the touchdowns open. So if Kiv scores, then Henry has the chance to go down and score. Now, Henry does a really good job here of switching to the half, snapping on this route, and Kiv honestly just makes a bad read. This is a 100% out of 100% a touchdown, but he misses the read. He tries to throw that slot fade, and Henry honestly probably should have got an interception there, but he didn't, right? For whatever reason, the warping, the agging, has really been beneficial to Kiv so far offensively. But you get him on another 4th down. Another 4th down, another got to have it down. If you're Henry, again, I almost play the exact same coverage. Like, play really aggressive coverage here. It's either a touchdown or it's a stop. Is really what you would want to be thinking. Now, he did take his hooks off of 5. His hooks are going to be on default, I believe, here. He's going to go cover 0. Now there's a timeout. It's actually a good timeout for Henry, because if he gets the stop, he basically wins the game. So it's actually a really good timeout right there. Or I think, Kiv ended up taking that. Surprised Kiv taking that one. I mean, it's a huge down for Kiv too. Kiv doesn't really need his timeouts either, because he's not trying to save clock. He's trying to get rid of it. Send to, another thing that Henry has done pretty much every time, and he is going to get the stop here. So you'll see a send to, and then basically just man with these zones, and he's able to get just enough coverage right there, a swat. and the receiver drops it. It looks like he almost caught it, but he ends up dropping it. Henry gets another stop, and now he's 47. Now, what Henry can do here, he's up 14. He could get up by 17. He has 3 timeouts. In my opinion, he's probably thinking at least 3, if not 7, in this situation. Try to get down, get up 17 before half. Really a big deal because now you put yourself at a 3-possession advantage. 3-possession advantage is very significant in Madden. So we'll see what he ends up going to here. I don't love the trips tight end call, but he's going to go to trips. And he's going to almost throw a pick. Had he actually thrown this, watch this switch stick from Kiv. Let's take a look at what we get from a pressure. It's just a basic 5 as a shed. Henry's going to throw this corner out. Watch Kiv, though. See, he's throwing the corner out. And look at Kiv. He switches right at the right time. He snaps. That's very fortunate that was a throw to sack. All right, 2nd and 10. They're just going back to that dagger setup. And again, look at this post. This might be a Y-off trio thing. I don't know. Maybe this is like why you run Y-off trio. Watch this streak. I think Kiv just, you see Kiv just switches here, unfortunately. And I don't know. I mean, he switches himself out of position. There's no safety help. This is why I hate cover 0. And yeah, it's a free touchdown. And Henry's going to go up 21 points. Now, why would Henry score there instead of take Kiv's timeouts? Primarily just because he is now in a really good position to just control the game. You get up by 21, you're in a lot of control over the game. And so, if he gives up 3 on the next drive, he's still up 3 possessions. So it's still an advantage to him, even if Kiv can somehow go down here and get 3. So Kiv going to the check down. Henry's obviously going to play defense in a way that, basically just gives up the underneath. So we'll see. Showing a little bit of pressure here. And there's that return route again. It's actually, that play has worked pretty much every time, but it keeps him in the middle of the field. And now you are probably going to get 3 here. He's going to hurry up spike. Mike Vick's going to freeze. 11 seconds. The reason for the spike there is because he has that one more timeout. So he wants to be able to draw up a route combo, basically hit a dot and then timeout. So we'll see what he ends up doing. If I'm Henry, I would send 5. I would go ahead and send the pressure here. And he is not going to. He's just going to run a send 4. He does have clouds on the outside. He does have the tight end man up. He does have the running back man up as well. And this time he's going to leave the extra blocker. He has a curl. And he's going to have to just throw this away. 4 seconds. See if he goes or anything. I think he's going to just go kick it. Kicks it, and he misses it. And that right there, I feel like is pretty bad from Kiv. You got to get yourself a surefire 3. Doesn't get 3 there. Henry's able to stay up by 21. When honestly, that should have been we should at least be 28-10 here. Just kind of mismanage that into half scenario, and it's so easy to do that, man. It's so easy to mismanage those into half scenarios, and I just feel like right there, you got to have something there. You got to be able to put. Maybe he just thought it was a surefire 3. It obviously wasn't a surefire 3. He missed a kick, and that's a special teams there. At the end of the day, it's just not good. All right, so Henry playing defense, been playing really good defense. Actually gave up a touchdown on that right side. Kiv missed it on the switch. And let's see what he ends up going to here. 3rd and 1, gets him on another 3rd down. As just a quick aside, if you're consistently getting him on 3rd down, 4th downs, that means you're playing really, really good defensively. And Henry is clearly doing that. Smash return setup from Kiv. Really nice route combo. Again, that's just always been there. That's just been there almost every single time. The smash return stuff, again, that's why I talk about calling good plays consistently. If you're calling good plays consistently, most of the time you have somebody open. You just have to make the read. And I feel like every time Kiv has called that play, he's had somebody wide open. Nice read to the running back there. And Kiv playing really good offense here in the second half. Kind of done mess around, getting a little bit more serious. And we'll see what he ends up doing. 2nd and 3. He goes into like a 5 wide. Another smash return setup. There's that running back route. Gets him down to about the 16. Kind of curious how Henry's playing defense on this. I feel like he's, I don't know, just seems a little bit. I feel like Kiv's moving with a little bit more urgency offensively. Henry's, I think, just trying to kind of not give up the 1-play touchdown. But there, Kiv scrambles again. Y off, trio close. 2 purples, 2 hard flats. There's a shade down. So he does shade his man down when he does that. So the man coverage will play more underneath on the curls and stuff. Good scramble. Vic out of there. Gonna just slide down. Take what the defense gives him. Got the belts displayed in the background. Very nice. Got bunch here. Gonna go to a little slant. That was about as open as you could possibly ask. And a good touchdown. And now we're gonna see Kiv go for 2. Why does Kiv go for 2? Not sure. I mean, I would think just he's just anticipating. You know, he's trying to just try to like increase the possessions or like maximize the amount of possessions here. So yeah, doesn't get it. So now he's down 15. He could have only been down 13, which would have allowed for that lead to be erased a little quicker. But anyway, we'll see what Henry's able to do offensively. Also, if you guys have gotten value from this video, I think you're going to love our school community. It's only $10. It gets you access to everything that I know about Madden and college football. So if you're looking to take your game to the next level, you get all of our ebooks, schemes, tips, everything that I know about both games for just $10. That link is in the description down below. There, Henry hits another lob streak. That was an actual swerve. Really nice. And again, popping cover 0, right? Just popping cover 0. There's always a way to bomb cover 0, and you have to have that in your offensive arsenal. Henry certainly does with these lob streaks. Here we got smash return with a slant flat combo on the left side. Kind of a unique flat. Able to break a tackle, able to get out of there. Crabtree to the crib. And we're seeing why you don't want to cover 0. There's just so many ways to manipulate it. And now Kiv is going to get the ball back. What's crazy is Henry is like, he is dominating, and he dominated all the way through limbs. He was the #1 seed in the world. I really do believe that Henry is getting back to his old self. Right? I don't know what happened last year, but for whatever reason, just won the same. And this year, it seems like he is adapted. He is adjusted to the switch stick era. He is really good again. His defense is really locked down again. Not that he wasn't good last year. It's just, again, by his standard being so high. It's looking really good. It's looking really, really, really good. And it's real simple, man. It's a couple shells. It's not a whole lot. I mean, it's the same base shells. It's just, these are good shells. Not only are they good shells, but he's adjusting well out of them. He's using well. He's switching and snapping on to routes like he needs to. I feel like his defense is really good. And I think what's scary about Henry is he is already, and here you see a send 5, there's that good pressure, good read from Kiv. He already was probably the best like pre-snap, like adjuster and like play designer, but like mainly like defensive adjustments, I feel like was his strength, right? Adjusting to how somebody plays and putting them in a bag. Now that he's figured out switch stick, it feels like he can put you in a bag in the middle of a play more so than he's ever been able to. So I just think he's figured it out. I think he's figured it out. Good read there from Kiv. And I think it's scary for the rest of the field, the fact that Henry has figured out switch. I think that's very, very scary. Anyway, here's an audible to the trio flex. You got the thirds, got the hard flats. Little slant post. Good. See that switch stick on the middle third. Really nice switch. And I mean, let's just break this down here real quick. So Kiv runs, right, a in route, a slant, a drag, and then a clear out, right? Standard combo. What Henry does is he reads this underneath stuff. And again, he's not going to try to use with the tight end like he would previous years. He switches to the middle third because the outside third is playing this guy. And he's just going to snap down on the tight end route. Watch how just snap down on it. And he's going to stay with it. And then he's got all this extra help over here to be able just to defend it. And it's just ends up forcing a roll out and a throwaway. Going to send the pressure here. Kiv going short side, bunch, X nasty. And again, there's that smash return. Had the running back, but Henry was using that. That's why that send 5 is so good. You've seen a couple times in this game, and you'll see it right here. Gets that send 5 in. He's going to peel out. Kiv has to throw the ball away because he sends 5 out every play. And it's a good 5-out blitz. And you're seeing, I mean, this is pretty good. Pretty good defensive showing from Henry. Kiv known as one of the best, not only best players of all time, but one of the best offensive players of all time as well. And he has 13 points and pretty much almost through about 3/4 of action. So pretty good showing from Henry's defense. Love to see. I want to know why the cloud on the safety. There we go. There's the third. There it is. There's the cover 2. And tries to get a little over adjusted. Kiv does pop him. Now Kiv going to go back for 2. Henry showing that send 6 look, but he's going to send 2 out of it. And I don't know that I love send 2 in the 2-yard line because of like how good the catch and traffic is in this game. So Kiv able to answer back. Kiv somehow still only down 14. Right through all this, if Kiv gets a stop, he's right back in the ball game. But we'll see, right? Henry is up 14. There's only 6 minutes left in this ball game. Henry going to come out. You're going to see very systematic. He's going to clock. He's going to run the ball. He's going to try to take some clock here. Maybe even take Kiv's timeouts. We'll see how Kiv wants to do it defensively. I'm actually amazed that we did not see a first down run right there. Maybe Henry's just in that killer mindset. He's just like, I'm just going to keep dotting you. I'm just going to keep winning. I'm going to keep scoring. That could be that. Really surprised we didn't see a first round. He does have the chew clock on here, and he's going to try to probably get this to the 4th quarter if he can get a completion. That is also why right here Henry takes the sack. So probably could have thrown this away. But what you see is he is actually going to, and maybe just try to scramble, couldn't get away. But he's going to take a sack. So now the clock's going to run. He's going to take that all the way to the 4th. And now he's got a 3rd and 13 on the 4th. 5 minutes left in the game. We'll see what he's able to do here. And kind of goes to that smash return combo there. I mean, that was close. That yellow was snapping down on that. He's able to complete it, able to catch, as I talked about. The catch and traffic is so powerful in this game. But that was a very, very risky throw. 4th and 11. That's a big down. Kiv kind of has to get off the field. Honestly, so Henry kind of dialing up a cover 0 beating route combo. And gonna throw that, and he's gonna catch that. So he kind of gets Kiv back. Kiv agged him, and then Henry's gonna ag him here. The throw really should go like over here. Kiv does a good job of kind of midpointing these 2 routes. Honestly, this will probably pop open as well. As you see, the tight end would have been wide open. But Henry kind of locks in here, throws it, and just can't get a great throw on it. That's why I threw it just a little bit off, threw it the timing off because of the switch stick. The switch stick that Kiv did threw the timing off on the route. Henry ends up being able to be very fortunate getting that possession catch. That's how powerful the catch and traffic is in this game. And now we should see a run here. 100% out of 100%, but he's going to pass. He's going to just keep going. He's just got a killer mindset, and he's just going to scramble out of there with Vic, take 6 yards, go down. I'm actually just shocked that we're not seeing runs. Like he's just throwing it. See what he ends up going to here. Just going to be a basic smash return setup. Look for that return route. Hits it on that right side. It's going to be a 3rd and 1. Motion. Now this is the motion post. It's got the return route, got the cross route, the running back table. Kind of goes high on that. Had the high point there because of the switch stick, so he high pointed to keep a safe throw. And then now 4th down, and he's going to get stopped, right? He had receivers open. He sent 5 out, though. Kiv screened at him, and he got stopped. And now we're going to see if Kiv can get back in the ball game. Kiv kind of needs 7. He does have his timeouts. Not out of this by any means, and that was a big stop for him. And so you're going to see just a quick flat there to the running back. Henry does have his safeties on close and pinch to help with seam streaks as well. There's some downside to that in this year. There's a little bit more downside than I thought there would be in this year's game, but that is kind of the standard way that people are lining their safeties up. Another smash return combo from Kiv. Able to hit it, able to juke, able to get another juke, truck, get out of bounds, save a little bit of clock. But this is going to be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Probably hits that running back table. Good way to get out of bounds there from Kiv. In the 4th quarter, if you get out of bounds, you're going to stop that clock. Whereas in any other quarter, if you do that, you're going to, except for the 2-minute warning, you're going to get the runoff in the 1st and 3rd quarters. So kind of a big deal that he got a bounce there. He's going to go to this. I don't know. Was this stack? What is this formation? Tight doubles? This is not tight doubles. I don't know what formation he's actually in. And it didn't work very well. Went to like a bomb play. Was this doubles flex? No, that's not doubles flex. I don't know what this is. Goes to like a bomb play. There's your guy. Pump fakes. I don't know why we're seeing that a little bit too much for me. Pump fakes, and he's going to get sacked. And now you got him on a 3rd and 17, right? Kiv kind of stopped himself, I feel like, right there. He had a guy open. I think I don't know what happened. But he hits that tight end post in a soft spot and a big down, gets a 1st down. Now he's about the 15. And it's looking like, he's going to score, but he is going to need to, it's going to be hard to onside. He's going to just need like a stop, because if he onsides, the downside to him onsiding is then, if Henry gets like 2 yards, he's going to be pretty much in field goal range. So that's a big factor here as well. But he does have to obviously score first. And so Henry's going to do his best to stop him. And he's going to send 5 here out of the man. There's the pressure. And the high point, it's actually a beautiful throw by Michael Vick. Gets that little like high point freeform back corner possession catch. And I believe, do you go for 2 here or do you kick? Probably to me kick, because I don't know. I mean, if you go for 2 here, yeah, I mean, he is going to go for 2. Kind of a decision, right? Kind of a decision. I think you could go a couple different ways. But I mean, can't go for 2 and have it look that bad. And you see here that Kiv is going to kick it deep. Again, the reason for kicking deep is because he can't afford to let Henry have a field goal. So by kicking it deep, this now is going to force Henry to actually have to play offense. Kiv does have 3 timeouts, but he only has a minute 19. So he has to stop him basically right here, or the game is essentially over. If Henry gets 2 first downs, it's pretty much mathematically over. I think even if he gets 1, it's very, very likely that Kiv gets the ball back with like 5 seconds left. So Henry is going to keep passing. Normally you would see a 1st down run. Problem with Henry passing is, well, it's not a problem when you complete it, but if he was not to complete it, it would have been a problem. There you see, there's the timeout. He gets the 1st down with that tight end route. And we're going to see the cluster strong for the first time. Goes to the rebound route on the left. We'll see what he's going to do with that route. And he's going to run kind of like a weird combo. And he's going to trust that rebound route against man coverage. Now, it's great that it beat man, but it did not get out, or it did go out of bounds. So because it goes out of bounds now, it's going to save a little bit more clock for Kiv. But as you see where Henry's out on the field, He's now very, very close to field goal range. So this is where you'll start to see, okay, we're going to run the ball, get the clock. There's a 1 timeout. So now Kiv's down to 1 timeout with 40 seconds. See what Henry ends up deciding to do. He's probably going to run the ball. Here he's going to pass, maybe just pop a touchdown if Kiv run commits. And he is going to go ahead and check into that quarterback power run. Not going to be able to get out there. And Kiv's going to get that timeout. 3rd and 18. Realistically here, you kind of have to pass this ball, which is not great because you can get a clock stoppage if you throw it incomplete. So we'll see. Henry's going to also probably take a sack if he can't. He's going to just throw it up and hit Barkley late in the route combo. See, there's that running back streak. If you don't man that up out of a cover 0 look, there's just nobody there. There's just nobody on the running back. And he's able to just playmaker that up and hit that running back route. That is going to be GG's. I want to thank you guys for watching this little breakdown. If you guys want to take your Madden game to the next level, check out our school community. That link is going to be in the description. But the GOAT, Henry 773, dominated all of his Elim games, and he will be in the first live event of the Madden 26 season.